Hello, you're welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to be speaking about money and risk management. Money and risk management. Now, you have studied technical analysis, how to analyze the markets using supply and demand strategy. You've actually studied how to make entries and and manage your trade. But that is just half of the gist. Having the right strategy, having the right technical strategy is one half of what it takes to really become a profitable trader that is consistently, raking in profit every now and then. You know, the other half is having a powerful money management strategy. So it's very possible for somebody to have a technical know-how, yet won't still be profitable long term in the market if the person sucks at money management. If the person doesn't really understand how to really manage risk, one mistake, one analysis, that one wrong analysis and one wrong trade can simply wipe out the entire account of that person if the person does not really know how to really manage risk. Okay, so it's really very important to really know how to manage your risk. It's important. Why? Because the markets that we are playing in, the financial markets, whether you are playing in crypto or you are playing in forex, or whether it's in 10-6, it doesn't really matter really. All of these markets, they are actually leveraged markets. And when you are playing in a leveraged market, there are a considerable risk, that is actually attached to it. So what we are trying to do in risk and money management is to ensure that you don't expose your account to too much risk that can wipe away your capital in one trade or in two trades or in just 1 week. Because what we want to do, or the kind of trader we want to be, is that the kind of trader that is consistently making profits in the market and can be in the market for a very long time. For a very long time, a trader that is reckless at risk management or doesn't understand risk management is actually that those kind of trader cannot really last in the market. Why? Because as they keep exposing their trading capital, as they keep exposing it to too much risk, it will only take only one wrong trade to wipe out everything or every gain that they have been making. And now you don't want to be like that. You don't want the case to be like that. Okay. All right. So how do we go about this issue of risk management? And the critical tool that we use in management of risk is basically what we call position sizing. Okay, it is actually basically position sizing. When you have proper position size, or proper position size on a particular trade, you can be really very, you can be assured, you can be calm, right? You can be calm. Now let's say, for example, you are trading a $5,000 account, and you made up your mind that, okay, on this particular account, I'm not going to risk more than 0.5% of this account on any single trade. I am not going to risk more than 0.5. 0.5% of 5,000 is going to be $25. Okay. Now, if you're risking 0.5% of that account, per trade, what it simply just means is that if you are entering in a part you are I mean you are entering a trade, and let's assume that the trade, you were wrong at your analysis, analysis was wrong, and or probably the market just does what it does sometimes, and you were taken out, you will only lose $25 out of your $5,000. If you remove $25 from $5,000, you are still left with a considerable amount of money, that will still be available to you to trade. Okay, that is where position sizing actually comes in. All right, so it's actually the tool we use in managing, you know, in managing our risk. So it is far more important to measure your risk on each trade, you know, in dollar amount. Okay, measure your risk in dollar amount. Like, don't measure your risk, by pips. Measure your risk in dollar amount. Now, what am I trying to say? Let's say, for example, you have $100 account. Let's say, for example, you have $100 account, and you make up your mind that, okay, fine, uh, at any given time you are going to be only risk 1% of this account. It means that 1% of that account is going to be $1. You are going to only risk $1 per per trade. Now, if you're risking 1% of your account, it means that it will take 100 losing trades for you to lose that entire account. Now, with what you've studied in this particular course, that is not possible. Okay, that is not possible. But we have actually seen cases of traders who just don't really understand this aspect of trading, risk management, losing their entire account in just one trade. They have this slogan they actually use, that they blow their account. They blow their account. Why? Just because they don't really measure their risk even before they get in, on that particular position. And when you are measuring your risk, you measure in dollar amount. Measure in dollar amount. Oh, I'm risking only $1 of my account. I'm risking $50. I'm risking $20. I'm risking, what I'm just trying to say is that at any given time, a serious trader would not risk more than 1%, between 1% and 3% of his account on a single trade. Not more than 3%, not more than 3%. So depending on how big your account is, you can actually risk between 0.5% to 3%. Anything more than that does not really make sense in the long term. Okay, so when you decide what percentage of that account you're going to be risking, then make sure that you convert that to the dollar, to dollar equivalent. All right. Now, we have some amateur and experienced traders alike mistakenly assuming that wider stop losses will require them to take on bigger dollar risks than smaller stop losses. Now, that is not true. Now, what am I trying to say here? Now, our entry, of course, if you have gone through the entry protocol, you discover that our entry is usually done off the other block, off the other block on the lower time frame that caused a change in character. That other block is actually what we use to plan our that's what we plan our entry, and that other block is also going to give us information about where we're going to place our stop loss. Okay, now the distance between where the proximal line and the distal line, you know the proximal line is where we are actually having our entries. The distal is where we are having our stop losses. Now, the distance between those places, you measure them, it's actually measured in pips. Okay, yeah, I know you remember now. It's actually measured in pips. Now, you don't that we know that no two trades will be the same. Okay, they will not be the same in the sense that the size of the order block in trade A may likely be different from the size of the order block in trade B. The size of order block in trade A could be 4 pips, for example, while another trade could be like 10 pips. Now, it doesn't matter the size of the order block, your risk should remain the same. Your risk will remain the same. I mean, your risk in dollar terms should remain the same, regardless of the size of the pips. The size of the order block. It shouldn't matter. Now, how to do that? We are going to talk about that now. Position size is essentially the number of lots you are trading per trade. So when we are talking about leveraging in this market, you are how do we measure our leverage? We actually measure leverage using lots. Just like when you are measuring weight, you use kilograms, grams, and stuff like that. So you actually measure leverage, using lot. So that is how to do that. Now, it is absolutely paramount to your consistent profitability in the forex market that you understand the importance of the risk to reward ratio and how it relates to position sizing. Before entering any trade, you need to know the exact dollar amount that you want to risk and the exact reward you think you're going to make on the trade. Now, you know, basically from our model, our strategy, ordinarily the very least we can actually make on any trade should be um like 3 hour, 4 hour. Sometimes we actually make as much as 20 and sometimes 40 hour, meaning that if you are risking $1, let's say for example what we are targeting is 5 hour. It means that if you are risking $1, you are looking forward to gain $5. Okay, you are looking forward to gain five $5. So that is basically what we're talking about. The risk, to reward ratio. That of course you need to really understand all of that. Okay. So once you have determined dollar amount, then you need to adjust your position size to meet this amount. If you are trading, micro lots and want to risk $50 on the trade with 100 pip stop loss, then your position size will be 5, 5 micro lots. So you would have a position size of me and 5 mini lots, or 5 micro lots, risking $50 with a per pip value of 50 cents. But don't you worry, I'm going to show you how to really do that really very conveniently in the next tutorial. See you in the next one.